as he did. Even while he was down there, he was early, and he was exposed to about every entrance in there. So it was just left up to...
There was no fire coming against him.
Right,
You know? So
yeah.
really solid, 63 to 56, excuse me. And we will see the paramedics, or medics as they are called in this league, heading off to the final match between, let's see if these are updated yet. Not yet updated. It's going to be Troll or Inatech. We'll have to see. Because whatever energy I have now, as I yawn into the mic. Oh my god. Took ZTN. Okay, so Blood Run's our first stop.
All right, so far so good.
We're already on the map.
He's running Quake live on NationalESL Live. Yay! All right. Are you happy now?
Wait, that means that potentially we're a tiebreaker?
Yep. Yep. Hey, don't worry, it'll be a landslide, am I right? Right? Yeah? Yeah.
I mean, again, paramedics, or medics rather, they have definitely improved over the force when we first started covering them, so I am definitely interested to see how this does turn out. I think, in my mind, this is the first real challenger they've had in this tournament, so we will see how it all turns out. We've got Mesta, red armor at the start, and heading off. Why would he turn that corner not expecting to get plasmid in the face? I don't know, that's kind of weird. He lost all of his armor.
Well, and it's still taken away from the enemy. Mesta's actually, I think his biggest problem right now is that he's still really weak on weapons. He got a great spawn, but he left himself no options to go anywhere to get weapons, and he's going to end up eating a nade from Clock, leaving them in the lead. But more
importantly, though, he communicated the timing to Wonko, so Wonko controls the red armor, which is going to become a huge factor right here for the squad. It's basically a 1-on-1 now, a 2-on-1. We got the fresh spawns coming in pretty much, and it looks like Fiend will get away with just like 1 health, and Clock is 30. So
yeah, you could see the delay in there, like, it sucks. But it's going to be a short-lived quad, but that still leaves Para down by a frag. Clock is going to be doing a bit of SG. We're going to see if they can break the shotgun curse tonight. Maybe. But probably. 5-on-3 here. Fiend is going to get a rocket launcher dropped off for him, and now he's pretty much set to make a run into red armor. Mesta way too early.
Fiend going rail. Mega is coming up right now. Let's see. Clock is waiting on it. And, what? I kind of missed what happened to red armor there. My bad.
Kind of interesting positioning here by Mesta right now, as he's left himself out of weapons, and Fiend just MGs him down.
Let's go take a look at Wonko. Currently 9-3. Inatech is slowly climbing the ranks here. Red armor is up. Clock going to not have enough to plasma jump, even before he got shot.
Ooh, very, very nice. Mesta finally bringing some good weaponage into mid, but he's only got the 5 slugs left, so he's still going to have to kind of beat heat in order to make himself useful again. Clock being in the corner at this time with 1 second to red.
Wow. Really? And Mesta switches with 32 health for the rail. Almost, I mean, there's the potential to give it away. Like I said, give it away to the other team, and this is really bad timing to give away a rail because, you know, with quad coming up in 10 seconds, and Fiend trying to leave armor up, I think
is anybody going to be really well stacked for quad? I mean, Wonko is going to be the best looking out of this, and it's 83 and 50.
Yeah. I think that you know, they were trying to, Fiend was trying to be a little bit too like Zen-like, you know, leave up the armor until my teammate can get it, or he can hold it down, and so I can pick it up after the quad, or I don't know exactly what the idea there was, but it didn't pan out, and Wonko is now going on a spree and potentially could tie this game.
Well, he's going to end up eating rockets up the stairs, down to 1 health, and he had 1 more step-itis, apparently, and that makes this a 3-frag game. Clock is going to be leading the board right now, even though he's just picked up a free rocket launcher. And Mesta taking down Fiend here is going to be opening up the quad room. The Clock needs to decide his next play carefully. Nobody's really going to be coming heavily into mid yet, since Red Armor's still several seconds away. Maybe he doesn't know that. Wonko doesn't know it yet, apparently. Wow. Again, I mean, it was a mistiming by Clock, but an even more grievous mistiming by Wonko. It nearly cost him his life there, nearly cost him mid-control. And now Red Armor's back up, and I'm not even sure who grabbed it at this point. Ended up being Wonko. Wow.
Of course, most of it gets faced off through rockets, and Fiend will be able to connect with the railgun for an impressive, sticking around way too long. In this situation, though, he took about maybe 15 more damage than he needed to. Wonko, so just storming through, keeping it in a 2-frag game. Beautiful stuff so far here on Blood Run.
Again, it's so consistent. That's the kind of funny
it's
thing.
Weird.
It is.
Maybe they did some minor change to it that we're just not aware of.
Maybe they've been playing in VQ3 too long and they're expecting non-concentric circles. Maybe. Maybe. All right, but Wonko, 65 and 125. We got 8 seconds to quad, and he's the first one to come into it. Fiend coming in second, but Fiend is going to be fairly weak as well. Mesta, he needed to push that a little bit
Fiend
earlier.
has already done his job, because all you got to do is get Clock in here. There he is.
Well,
and it's easy peasy quad.
Mesta could have saved the day if he pushed out a little bit earlier.
Yeah, but
got himself
when Fiend's able to clear the room by himself, and where his soon-to-be quadded teammate gets to go in pretty much untouched, I mean, that's fantastic. Of course, their ability to find the targets to shoot is a bit wanting, but still, I mean, all that matters,
always,
though,
ZTN quad runs, I mean, the focus doesn't always need to be on the damage. Control is so much more important here.
Right. And see, Clock needs to get a little bit of help from his teammate right now, and then they can secure this red. There's Wonko going, taking out Fiend.
Looks very, very nice move here. Very nice play for Clock to head back out of this, and actually, he seems a little bit surprised that nobody's at Mega. Again, the timing for both of these teams seems to be set off by each other, and Clock was, I think he wanted to spam down on Mega and kind of keep himself safe, but instead he was like, all right, fine, I'll take it. Mesta eating a beautiful rocket. We still got Wonko out on the other side, but Clock was expecting a spawn from Mesta. Nails in a bit more damage. Doesn't quite get to the point where he's absolutely sure of his control over Red Armor, but that should give it on over to Fiend.
No, Mesta's got the red with 1 health.
Wow.
And Mesta gets the cue from his teammate dying that going down there is not a good idea.
Very nice initial LG there. I mean, Fiend, for having to give so much up, has made a really, really nice contribution for his team. Wonko, again, early. Way too early.
Huge clusterfuck for the red. It's come and gone.
Maybe he hasn't adjusted his on-screen timers for daylight savings time yet.
No one's going to be stacked at all for this quad. This is basically going to be, can you grab it and die immediately type thing.
All right, but Mesta doesn't apparently grab it here with 4 health left over. He's able to pick up the 15 and get out of this. Maybe 50 will be available. Lucky for him, it is, but he's still kind of low on weapons here. He's got 23 cells left for his plasma, and until he can safely get back down to rocket or up on top of the ledge, he's not going to be all that useful. And I really doubt there's going to be anybody hiding in the back of the map right now, since they know that Mesta's going to be fairly weak as well. They're going to be a little bit more aggressive, keeping Mesta on the bottom rung of things, and finding Fiend with a railgun in the face right on the exit of the teleporter. Very, very nice shot there indeed, but 32 to 21. This thing's still looking good for Fiend and Clock, but nowhere near decided.
Oh yeah, very far from it.
Fiend being the guy hitting with the shotgun might actually be securing things a little bit more. Very nice rails though.
Yeah, I mean, his railgun right now is 50%. He's at 17% shotgun, 65 rocket. I think the rockets are probably the more telling. Mesta right now 16% rail, which is...
well, that's about to go up here as he takes down Clock, and that's going to be an important frag. I mean, nothing's going to be up for several seconds, but he should be able to at least cover Mega health here. No grenade launcher for him yet, though. I'm sure he's looking for it.
Oh,
yeah.
there it is.
I think he was expecting a push from Plasma, but not from that direction.
I mean, had Fiend had a weapon, I think that Mesta would be dead right now. Nice shot from Wonko. 30% rail, 28 LG, 37 rockets. 10 frags the separation between these two.
Very nice rail there from Mesta, but again, can he get out of the situation intact? No, by ignoring Fiend and letting him get in, he's going to be leaving Fiend up with plenty of health. Armor's going to be available, but he's going to be getting the grab.
There it is.
Oh, very nice rail, especially without the armor pickup initially by Fiend. Fiend had a difficult decision to make there. And I don't want to say it was the wrong one, but it definitely left him open to that rail. But it looks like he's going to be able to recover very nicely. Mesta coming out of teleport could be easy frag bait for Fiend. Fiend picking up another one, and this is going to be a nice lead expanding quad run for Fiend and Clock.
Yeah, and I mean, have we seen any decent quad runs by Medics?
Well, it's been difficult. I mean, control for Red and Mega has been so sporadic. I mean, the damage from both of these guys has been all over the place. And so it makes these quad runs much more difficult to kind of run into any kind of real success. But again, that's much more telling for the rest of the map than it is for the quad room.
I don't know, man. I think, you know, we're about to hit the halfway point, and it's still a close enough game. Medics can bring this back, no problem. But they got to work on...
I wouldn't say no problem.
No, I mean, seriously, I really feel like if they can just focus on control a little bit better.
Neither team has really settled into a rhythm, and that can make it very difficult to get to that point. I mean, it's bad enough if you're kind of mistiming, but if your opponents are mistiming as well, it just exacerbates the issue.
Well, and that's kind of my point. Like, since Initech isn't exactly holding down the map, you know, it's not like they're, you know, totally running the thing. Oh, nice. There we go. There's the telephone. You know, it leaves an opportunity for Medics to, you know, get their game on and then use that as a momentum shift. We'll see.
Absolutely, and it does indeed look like Clock is trying to slow things down a little bit. He's being a little bit more picky with his angles. He wants to fill some of the gaps and kind of force Medics into a wall, or rather into a room, but that room being the quad room with 2 seconds up the quad, Clock needs the stack coming into this. I mean, Wonko's going to be the guy to watch with quad, but I really want to see how Clock responds to this. He's going to have a much, much better stack, and if he can kind of hold on to his own angles, Fiend is going to be rushing right into it, but Clock, again, he's kind of holding back a little bit more, getting in the rail, getting in the damage, trying to bite. Fiend is, again, rushing out a bit too much, but he's got Wonko down to 3 health. If Wonko drops here.
Yeah, Wonko had to think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Pick your route carefully.
I mean, Clock wasn't able to shut down that quad run, but he was not the one dying on the quad. I mean, Fiend died, what, 3 times during that run? Clock not once. So there needs to be some tighter communication for Clock to kind of bring Fiend up to snuff.
Well, and part of that might have just been, you know, Fiend just getting the, you know, at that point, shitty spawn after the first kill, you know?
And you can't blame him for, you know, Clock already getting in the initial damage. Wonko was indeed down to 3 health, but Fiend finally getting away with red armor. We're still a whole minute away from quad, but 13 seconds from Mega. Fiend should be able to hold the top of the map long enough in order to secure that run, or at least assist and make sure that Clock has an open route.
Let's see how he plays this. I mean, Mega up, Clock a little bit hesitant, not wanting to get railed.
Very nice rails from Fiend, but again, that play seemed to be almost independent of what Clock was doing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, a little bit.
Still, I mean, only 15 frags between them with 7 minutes left. That's a load of time for Paramedics to bring this thing back together. And if Wonko can hold on to this is a good angle for him to be playing right now.
Yeah, that was a great initial rocket. That right there, that opened up the room.
Absolutely.
I mean, all Wonko has to do is keep spamming, and this is what fun.
And Mesta's got 100 health, no real armor until he grabs this yellow, but this should give him a nice clean run. And unless Clock, and I'm really thinking it'll be Clock we have to depend on to see this from, gets in this kind of the push out damage with grenades and rockets and spams Mesta down. Yeah, it's going to be a good quad run for Para here. And that was a nice safe route for Mesta to take, too. It really denied Clock a lot of easy shots. And he's finally going to get taken down. The movement from Mesta there was good.
If he'd only picked up that rocket launcher that he passed up.